We are getting into the latest MLB pitching rumors and some names that could be available for trade for David Stearns and the New York Mets, as this is a continuation from all the other pitching targets that we've talked about thus far on the channel. We have reports from Jeff Passan and Buster Olney right here on this video. Before we fully get into it, make sure to smash those thumbs up buttons, subscribe to the channel, lower right hand corner, hover over the icon and subscribe, and make sure to comment your thoughts and opinions down below, and check out all the previous content if you missed it in the description down below as well. All right, let's start off with this rumor and report from Jeff Passan, who had an interesting thing to say about the Miami Marlins organization as it pertained to their starting pitching and who could be on the trade block. Miami is almost certain to move a starting pitcher this winter, and Edward Cabrera has generated the most interest. Now, Edward Cabrera, we're going to get into him here for just a little bit because this is a name that intrigues me a lot, and I've been talking about him for the past year. And if you all remember, during the trade deadline, there was a lot of smoke and rumors surrounding the Mets and Marlins being interested in an Edward Cabrera deal. The Marlins in the past have been interested in Brett Baty. That kind of fizzled out. That interest fizzled out, but you never know. They could circle back to Brett Baty, given the upside that he has shown and the versatility, both defensively and offensively, that he showed in a really good 2025 campaign. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a one-for-one deal, Edward Cabrera for Brett Baty. I'm just saying that the trade package could definitely involve those two names at the top as headliners if this were to materialize. But, Jeff Passan doesn't really mention Sandy Alcantara, but I think that he is also on the table for the Marlins, and it's just about what route they choose to go. The one name that they are not listening in on offers for is Yuri Perez, and that is one of their guys in their starting rotation. A pretty respectable starting rotation, might I add, in Miami, that they are not going to be willing to trade this offseason. So let's get more into Edward Cabrera, because like I said, I really do think that he showed a lot of promise in 2025. He had one of the better seasons in his career thus far, especially when you take a look at the past couple of seasons. So these are the numbers right here for Edward Cabrera from 2023 onward. In 2025, he really took off. Now, the reason he took off, the reason why he lowered his ERA to that 3.53 that you see as opposed to the 4s and above, is that he walked a lot less hitters. Edward Cabrera's walk rate has been a very big problem early on in his career. It was hovering between 10 to 11, even 12% in some years thus far early into his career. He's only 27 years old, and he's still in his first arbitration eligible season here in 2026. So that means if you trade for him, that's going to be a lot of assets that you have to give up, and you might have to give up a controllable player as well that is young, and that's why I mentioned the name Brett Baty if they're looking for offensive help. But Edward Cabrera's walk rate went down to around league average. It still has room for improvement, but that really lowered the walks and hits per innings pitched, and thus less runners on the bases means probably a lower ERA. Now, ERA is not the end-all be-all. You still have to look at the other metrics like walk rate, like hard hit percentage, like strikeout rate. He knows how to strike hitters out. He has a pretty decent arsenal. I'll get into that here in just a second with this 2025 pitch usage, which is a really cool tool that Baseball Savant has on their page. I highly encourage you all to check it out for yourselves. But the strikeout rate is nothing marvelous. It's right around league average, 25%. I guess a little bit above league average, but he's not really known to strike out hitters left and right. That's not really his game. The one concerning factor here with Edward Cabrera that I have concerns with moving forward is even in a good 2025 campaign, really the last two seasons in 2024 and 2025, even though he got his walk rate down, he still got hit hard with the hard hit percentage, which was around 45 and 46% respectively over the past two seasons. That's something of concern because even though he showed better results year over year, it still means that opposing hitters, were having a lot of success putting good contact on the baseball. And so when you take a look at projections, advanced analytics, usually hard hit percentage equates to more hits. It didn't in 2025 for Edward Cabrera, but that could also be an indication of things to come and those numbers going back up in the future if you do and go ahead and trade for this guy. So again, like I said, 27 years old. I think he's 28 or going to be 28 very soon. I'm very interested in him because he's got 4 years of control left. Already said that he is first year arbitration eligible in 2026. They're projecting his salary cap hit, payroll hit to be around $3.5 million. He was getting paid $1.9 million in the 2025 season, and that number is expected to go up and up and up, especially dependent on the numbers that he is going to post. But this is a guy that you can slot in, especially if he's able to replicate that 2025, those 2025 numbers in the middle of your rotation. And that's something that I would be very interested in, depending on the package that goes back. And you see the pitch usage here. He's a changeup heavy pitcher. And the cool thing about Baseball Savant is that it allows you to see in 2025 which pitches he prioritized to right-handed batters versus left-handed batters. So if you see all the colors right here on your screen and the percentages under the pitch column, changeup heavy to both lefties and righties. That is his predominant pitch. That is his comfortable pitch. He actually utilized his curveball a little bit more to left-handed hitters, and his curveball had a lot of success in 2025. He decided to utilize that pitch a lot more, which I think helped him also generate some of the better numbers as well. But you see he has a slider as well, four-seam fastball that's about 97 miles per hour on average. He has some velocity, which I like. I think he's a very versatile pitcher. I think that he could still be classified as a quote-unquote project pitcher. So if the Mets are confident in their pitching lab and the new pitching coach that they have to try to acquire a guy that has a lot of upside, I know that Mets fans, we are done talking about high upside pitchers and project pitchers. I am also in that same boat. But like I said, this is not going to be an ace in your rotation. He's more in line to be a number 3. And if you've been listening on all the videos that we've been talked about, 2 pitchers, hopefully for the Mets this offseason, 1 top line starter and 1 middle of the rotation guy. And Edward Cabrera could definitely, with the upside, be a middle of the rotation guy. And this could be your ace right here. This is the juiciest rumor that we've been hearing over the past couple of days as it relates to pitching strictly. Per the Just Baseball page on X and a report from Buster Olney of ESPN. Yes, I know we all love Buster Olney, not as Mets fans, but he still has some insight and some sources around the league, right? A highly ranked executive I talked to yesterday said, yeah, I think they are going to trade Tarik Skubal, the Detroit Tigers. And so this is very interesting. I'm not quite sure if I can fully commit to this notion of seeing a Skubal trade happen, given the situation and how well the Tigers did in 2025. Contract is looming, and it's also a risk for any team, let alone the New York Mets, to trade high assets for a guy that might walk. But like I said, if you have Steve Cohen, money is not the issue. You will get that deal done at some point, and you are not going to let him walk out of the door, especially with the CBA negotiations coming up after this season. You don't know if there's going to be a season in 2027. I would say 50-50 right now, especially with how stubborn these owners can be, as we all know, if there's going to be a season next season. So if you are really trying to go for it with Juan Soto and all the rest of these guys on the roster, this is the guy to get. You figure out the contract later, and you just do not let him leave out of the doors no matter what. You make the offer, the best offer, and the final offer when they come back to you and try to have things match up. So listen, like I said, I'm not going to fully buy into this just yet. The Tigers, for me, in my mind, 50-50, it's not really reliable to expect them to trade him. But like I said, if he becomes available on the block, we've been talking about this for the past couple months now this offseason, David Stearns must. It's not even a question. David Stearns must do everything in his power to get Skubal in Queens and get that ace that we've been longing for, really longing for ever since Jacob deGrom left this organization. So Mets fans, let me know what you think about these 2 names. Edward Cabrera, are you interested? Are you not interested? What would you send over, if not Brett Baty, in a potential deal there to Miami? And division trades are very hard to figure out, but in recent history, we've seen a couple of Mets Marlins trades go down. So I think that, both parties would be willing to work with one another. And also this Skubal rumor. Do you think he is on the move? And do you want to chance, him coming over to Queens for a single season. For me, I don't think that the money is going to be an issue for Steve Cohen. Like I just said, it shouldn't be an issue. So that's not what I'm worried about. I want to put the best team out there in 2026. And that best team, especially with the rotation, would have Tarik Skubal as your number one. So thank you for listening in on this video. I definitely appreciate it. As always, check out all the previous content. We are going live tonight to talk about all these rumors on the Mets Hot Stove Live to end your Sunday and weekend evenings. Come join us. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and also comment your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you all next time, and let's go Mets.